Alright man, this is it. You just watched David Late's Natty Transformation. You're more motivated than ever. You immediately decide to go to the gym and get a membership. The following days you're excited to go to the gym. It's new, refreshing, and let's face it, you just want to look like freaking Michael B. Jordan. But after a week, you look at the mirror and you see the same skinny guy that you were a week ago. Man, it's pointless, you think. You've worked out like a maniac for an entire week and nothing has changed. You give up and you go back to playing video games every single day. And hear me out, we've all been here. Me too. I know what it's like to be insanely motivated at one point, promising yourself that you're going to succeed with this and you're going to stick with it. A couple of days later, you trash the idea because the motivation has gone, and let's face it, you just don't want to put in the hard work that it requires. Man, I've done this so many times where I had an idea and then I instantly started imagining like the future, like where I succeed, and I'm going to be like, oh my god, my life is gonna change, it's gonna be so amazing. Like honestly, let's face it, we've all done this, like making up this sort of imaginary situation. Like I did this with my channel too before I even started, and honestly, I lost that motivation so fast that I was actually close to quitting before I even started. Now, I'm glad I stuck with it, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how you can stick with something too and don't rely on motivation. So the thing with motivation is that it's very short-lived. It will fade away as quickly as it came, and therefore you can't rely on it to achieve your goals. What makes you actually achieve your goals is consistency and discipline. It's sticking with it even on the days that you don't want to do something. And I know, there's days where you just don't feel like it and you just really don't want to do it. But the thing is, if you learn how to still get the job done on the days where you don't want to, man, you are 100% surely gonna succeed in life. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about why you shouldn't rely on motivation, but also how you can actually use motivation to fuel your vision. Now, before the solution, I just quickly want to talk about what motivation actually is. Now, if you just want the quick solution, just skip to this timestamp. All right, so motivation is defined by the Oxford Language Dictionary as a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. In other words, it's a drive that you have inside of you, and it's what drives you to do something. All right, so when we talk about motivation, we put it in two separate categories. We got intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. All right, so extrinsic motivation is based on an external reward. For instance, most people go to work every single day, not necessarily because they like to do the job that they have, but more so because they're extrinsically motivated. They get paid. However, if you no longer pay them, their motivation to work will quickly evaporate. Therefore, extrinsic motivation is great for short term, but it doesn't really translate into the long term, because if you're relying on an external reward to be motivated, it just doesn't hold in the long run. Alright, then we got the intrinsic motivation, which is sort of driven by the sense of passion, satisfaction, and approval. You know, a person might experience this when he does something that he really enjoys to do without being rewarded for it. And this is, for instance, when you have a hobby, if you do a sport, you don't do it because you get paid or because you get some external reward, but because you really enjoy doing it. And doing it really gives you some sort of emotion of control over your own life. It is, however, proven that if you introduce extrinsic motivation to intrinsic motivation, the intrinsic motivation will strongly decrease. So for anyone to succeed with doing something over a longer time period, they need to be intrinsically motivated. So a person who goes to the gym every single day has some sort of internal drive. And this could be some sort of feeling that they get when they go to the gym, whether it's challenging themselves or to sweat or whatever this might be. It doesn't really matter as long as it comes from within themselves. However, if you introduce some sort of eccentric motivation, so this could be an external reward like paying them to go to the gym, or if they just really want to pick up girls, if that's why they go to the gym, they will quickly become discouraged and stop working out. Now, a lot of the people who go to the gym desire some degree of autonomy. This means that they want to have control over their own lives. Now, by working out, you actually gain control over your body, and you will be able to shape your body in any way you would like to. Now, working out is most often intrinsically motivated, and this is one of the reasons why it's often recommended as the first step to your self-improvement journey. However, if you're a person who generally is more extrinsically motivated and generally tends to lose your motivation rather fast, here's your solution. So I got 3 things that you should start doing to stay motivated and get the job done. The first one is start focusing on the small wins. So instead of picturing yourself in front of the finish line, focus on the small steps you take on the road. Quote, focus on the journey and not the destination, actually represents this sort of mentality. And in the end, the sense of progression after every small win will accumulate into one big snowball of motivation momentum. The second one is getting clear on your own values. So if you're clear about your own values, it works to build your motivation because you get a sense of purpose and autonomy. In other words, if something makes you feel in charge of your own life, you'll be way more likely to keep doing it and be motivated. The third and last thing that I want you to do, and I think this is a really helpful one and you should definitely start to implement it, is holding yourself accountable to others. By holding yourself accountable to others, you build up your motivation by making a relation between your goals and a person. So for example, if you fail to do something, not only will you let yourself down because you failed to reach your goal, you'll also let somebody else down because you couldn't keep your promise to them. Simultaneously, if you manage to achieve something, not only will you make yourself proud, you'll also make that person proud. And I think this is a really good source of motivation because you will get appreciated, and this is what drives human behavior. Alright, so in conclusion, the best way to stay motivated is by an intrinsic reward that's driven by some sort of feeling or emotion. For instance, don't start a business just because you want to become rich. Then I can guarantee you that it's gonna fail. But if you do it because you're passionate about an idea or product, man, I promise you that if you work every single day on it, you will see great improvement on it. And say you actually start a business, get a business partner. That way you guys can hold each other accountable for the things you do or actually don't do. And lastly, make a list of milestones that you complete one after another. And I promise you that you won't give up without even trying. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy it and see you in the next one.